Attention, the following broadcast has been approved by Outcasted OC. Viewer discretion is advised. Incoming transmission in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi guys, Morgan Ross here giving you your AEW in a week review, starting with Dynamite. We have a pretty much filled up and stacked Dynamite. After a few stellar performances, we get to open with Kyle Fletcher issuing a challenge to Kenny Omega for this week's show. And we also get to hear from Adam Copeland with the potential growing feud and storyline going with Nick Wayne and Christian. He also seems to consistently have Luchasaurus still lingering in the background ready to fight him. Mentioning Nick Wayne, we also get a sit-down interview with Jim Ross where he gets to speak to the 18-year-old and his mom, so we will see where that progresses. So this week's Dynamite kicked off with Penta El Zero making his entrance going against Jay White of the Bullet Club Gold. Alex Alvarez was ringside alongside Penta like normal, and Jay White had Juice Robinson and the Guns to his side. To open straight away, Penta took out everyone he could in Bullet Club except for White with a huge dive over the top rope before they even got to really ring the bell or start the match. But he still managed to take Switchblade down and bring him into the ring to start a match with a flying double stomp and a very quick 2 count. He really tried to wrap this match up straight away. He wasn't messing around. Once White was able to kind of regain the ring and kind of momentum in his favour and his composure, he slowed down the pace a lot, especially how he does in his style of wrestling. He kind of meticulously breaks people down and carries on wrestling that way. That's always been kind of his style. He makes you work to him, not him work to you, which is always good to see. And you would see he was working on the ground, stopping a lot of the high flying, and the soon-to-be an AEW World Champion, so we say the inaugural AEW World Champion, took some kind of low roads and kind of some shady practices like normal as a heel would, but would also kind of dish out a lot of the punishment and a lot of the fighting power he would do in kind of the normal fashion that wouldn't be illegal tactics. Both of these guys have been incredible. These guys really know how to show out and do what the best they can. Predictably, the Bullet Club got involved, and that's what cost Penta the loss. It was a lot of fun to watch, but at this point the finishes are getting slightly obvious with Bullet Club Gold and them getting involved, so it'd be nice to see some changes going there. But it is always good to see Bullet Club Gold standing strong right now. We have then Hikaru Shida versus Emi Sakura. This was a very quick match. Hikaru Shida did get the pin on this. There were some interesting notes to talk about where we had the moment where Shida blocked a running crossbody with a knee. Just looked awesome. The camera really picked up a good angle on it. Even though it was slightly weird, they did pick up a cool spot to do it. But it actually made it seem more legitimate where the camera was and the placing of it, because the way that shot happened, it looked deliberate. But it was interesting to note that. The only problem I had with this match was the Tiger Driver Sakura tried to do looked very awkward in its position, and it was hard to tell if she kind of lost the grip or lost it with the momentum going into it on Shida, and if Shida didn't really follow up or rotate enough on it, potentially. Shida was okay, there was no injury on it, but it was a pretty bad landing for Shida in that. But the match was good. They always go hard, especially Emi Sakura, and how Emi Sakura is playing heel right now. I do enjoy that kind of style from her. We also get Wardlow facing Ryan Nemeth, and Ryan is kind of fed up of just everyone not putting him into the conversation and stepping to the sideline, so he tried to step into a bigger limelight and win against Wardlow. Problem being, Wardlow hit only one powerbomb and the ref called it off. Was like, nope, Ryan's out, he's done, he can't carry on this fight. Tony Schiavone tried to talk to Wardlow, and it just comes across really awkward because, like, what are you here for? Like, what are you? What's your next goal? And he just has MJF on his wrist, and he kind of just angrily smacks the mic out of Tony Schiavone's hand and kind of like pushes him away. And Schiavone like oversells this. His body like literally crumbles like he was a rag doll, and I was just like, I don't think we kind of need that. We then get one of the most talked about matches that we were having. The former AEW World Champion in Kenny Omega is going against the young 24-year-old Kyle Fletcher of Aussie Open. And this match was perfect. It had a lot of selling. The V-trigger that Kenny Omega hit, where Kyle Fletcher basically sold the heck out of it, made his soul look like it left his body. We had a standout performance from Fletcher once again. He really does step in when he needs to, and they had awesome back and forths. Omega scoring the pin with the One Wing Angel once again, which is always good to see that they are still protecting the One Wing Angel, even when Kenny has been losing a lot recently. Don Callis immediately went from praising Fletcher to insulting him as soon as Kyle Fletcher lost. Which, yeah, I think that's a shame, and I feel like that's not going to sit right with Ospreay, and there's still unfinished business there, but it all depends on what goes on, because Ospreay was currently on Impact Bound for Glory, as people knew. We then get to have a returning Lance Archer. That was awesome to see, even if it was very quick, and he just beat the life out of what seemed to be like a jobber. I don't like referring to people as a jobber, but I never really saw Barrett Brown before, and it just looked like, yeah, he was just in random wrestling gear, kind of looked like a knockoff Young Bucks was the best way of putting it. And yeah, Lance Archer just bodied him. He was in no mood to waste any time and just won that match. We then have the difficult talk in this episode of Sting announcing his retirement is on the way. He is doing one last retirement tour, and he will be retiring at Revolution 2024. I understand it's his time coming. There was a couple of last little things I'd love to see, but injuries happen, timing happens, and I kind of wish he retired at All In, like the second one, just because I feel like that would be very fitting. It's one of the biggest places to do it. It's the equivalent of AEW's WrestleMania in my eyes, so it would have been the best place to do it there. But I understand he debuted at Revolution, he wants to end at Revolution, basically ending like a story arc for himself, which is understandable. But yeah, him being 64 years old and going the way he has been still is fantastic to see, and it shows the legacy of Sting himself. After that, we get a silent film from Tony Storm during the commercial breaks when the show was in picture-in-picture. We also got an interview with Nick Wayne, as mentioned, about how he turned on Darby. His mum read him like straight up. She just rinsed him alive for all his behaviour, his actions. Darby Allin then attacked Christian and Nick backstage, and the fight spilled into the arena. Nick broke one of his teeth and was bleeding as Luchasaurus and Christian helped into the back. And the main event of this week was very interesting. It was the Dynamite Dozen Battle Royale for a shot at MJF's Diamond Ring. We knew where this was going. We already had Juice Robinson basically call it out, and this is where the win happens. Juice Robinson did get the win. But the most interesting was the last two in the ring was Max Caster and Juice Robinson. Max Caster has been having a weird infatuation over Max, and Juice Robinson has beef with Max to state he's going to take everything from him, because they still believe it was MJF who dressed up as the devil and jumped Jay White. So this is where this feud stands out. But yeah, a lot of the standout things happened. There were some really cool spots of Jeff Hardy, Dustin Rhodes, and Daniel Garcia. We had a part where I'm pretty sure it was Daddy Magic turning around and saying to Daniel Garcia, "No, you are not dancing in the middle of the ring." Slaps him away. And yeah, this match had quite a few people who aren't currently like any members of a tag team or anything like that. It's just kind of, here's an opportunity, let's see what you guys can do in the ring. And it was quite good for what it was. The best part was MJF was super not ready for anyone in that match, and I love to see the fact of the last two that it were, he was fuming they were there and really didn't want to get involved with them. And yeah, that was your main event. We had Juice Robinson win for an opportunity to fight MJF for his diamond ring. We gloss over Rampage as we always do, and the best thing to talk about Rampage was we have the debuting Mystico versus Rocky Romero, and this was a great match. CMLL approving it on Rampage. I think this was one of the perfect matches to do it. Very quick, very easy to bring eyes to Rampage, and Mystico winning that in his great Mystico fashion is always awesome. And I now, if Mystico is going to start appearing more often, I'd love to see that, because I'd love to see a Drilistico versus Mystico fight. Just because of the CML history, Drilistico used to take the Mystico mantle and Dragon Lee mantle, hence the name Drilistico. So I'd love to see an interaction between them. We then go into Collision, and we open with everyone having arguably one of the coolest matches in a long time, and definitely a dream match for several fans, in Bryan Danielson versus Andrade El Idolo. This match had This Is Awesome chance before it even started, before they even grappled. We had consistent counter after counter, roll up after roll up, 2 count here, 2 count there. We had headlock takeovers, and just to the part they kept staring each other down. Like, they would both get to the respective corners, stare back at each other, and just be like, damn, okay, you're countering everything I'm countering. Fair play. They then have a moment of respect and shake each other's hands, and they go straight back into it. The match starts turning into more of like a slugfest, where there's several intense chops, kicks. We also see a really awesome spot where Andrade lands the Tranquilo as he was about to get thrown out of the ring, and as Daniel Bryan goes to dive into Andrade, he rolls away, avoids it. Daniel Bryan lands on the outside, but then we get a Bisoco knee strike on the outside to Andrade. Yeah, this match all around was crazy good. We saw several headbutts from the top rope from Danielson, and it was interesting. The commentators were saying, like, oh, Danielson's had head injuries in the past. These headbutts are a big risk for him, but he's still going for it. We get Andrade doing a really awesome shotgun drop kick, as they refer it to, and then just popping straight back up. Andrade stopped the yes movement kicks that Bryan was doing by doing a corkscrew, which I thought was very smart play. And they really broke each other down on these skills and their style set. We still get the win to Daniel Bryan with a very interesting roll up back and forth, and he sneaks the third by doing a full power up. Like, Andrade's legs are all the way up and both shoulders are held down, which was awesome to see. And the best part of this for me is, as they're both celebrating, they both shake hands in respect. Andrade leaves the ring, and the ring goes to black. Like, the lights are all out, commentators know nothing. Malachi returns and instantly black masses Bryan Danielson to the ground. We have Willie Yuta and Claudio run down to come help, but by the time they're there, the ring goes black again. Malachi is nowhere to be seen, and I thought this was awesome. We then get Sky Blue being affected by what Julia Hart did with the spray. Her eyes are still darker in the makeup. She's still got this aggressive side to her, and she went against Hollywood Holly from OVW. If you guys want to know more of that wrestler, I would recommend watching Wrestlers on Netflix. There is a documentary series that is explaining them, and it is a very good look into the state of OVW and what OVW represents. But yeah, it was cool to see. Sky Blue really got the quick win. It is very weird that she's going for this darker character, yet had Scooby-Doo gear on, so it kind of took me out of it a little bit, but it's fine. I understand what they were doing. After a commercial break, after Sky Blue won, we then get the Gun Club versus the Outrunners. Colton Gunn lets the aggression out and basically wins straight away, with them doing several aggressive punches, stomps and kicks, and then hitting their finisher. They made it a clear mission statement. They are wanting to go for the tag belts. They are wanting to stand next to Jay White with all the gold. The lights go black again, but this time the devil mask shows his face staring into the screen and the mirror, and then it cuts out once again, still alluding we haven't got the right idea of who the devil is. It could still be MJF. It could still be several other people. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section of who you genuinely think the devil is actually, and who were all the people that helped him jump them. We then get the Memphis Street fight of Jeff Jarrett versus Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston instantly eggs Jeff Jarrett to come down and fight properly, and goes straight at him, kendo stick, everything. A lot of back and forth of these spots happen. We get Eddie Kingston slammed into a popcorn table, but then Jeff gets hit with the food cooler box straight into his low blow area. We then have mustard and ketchup thrown over him. We have Jay Lethal then hit the equivalent of a cutter from the ramp into this table, bust Eddie open. And then Jeff Jarrett just constantly beats down on Eddie with bin lids, chairs, everything, really attacking Eddie Kingston's leg. There was an awesome spot where Eddie low blows once again Jeff Jarrett to get kind of away, get momentum, picks up a bin lid and just throws it straight at Jeff Jarrett. Then goes, nah, forget this. Slams the bin on his head, gashes his head more open so he's bleeding a bit more, and just throws the bin straight at him, twice over. Does multiple spots. There was a brutal barbed wire bat spot as well. But yeah, this match for me just wasn't fun, wasn't enjoyable to talk about really, because the way it was all set up, it made Eddie Kingston look bad. It made Eddie Kingston look like he doesn't know how to do street fights and everything. I don't know if they were trying to play into the story. He was reluctant to fight because he didn't want to hurt Jay Lethal because there's history and they used to be friends. But either way, this match wasn't great for me. Eddie Kingston sadly lost because he got taken down by everyone in that. But we do get an amazing unhinged promo straight after where he is shouting literally about Jay Lethal and the annoyance of what Jay Lethal does, and he states, cool, you got your title shot opportunity, and I'm going to hate to have to do this, and it's going to break my heart because I'm going to have to beat you up in front of your beautiful mother, and she's going to cry for you, but she's not going to stop me because I'm going to keep beating on you, and she's going to know it's for your own good. And it was a great promo. It really sold how angry he is. We get CJ Perry then walk out after, watching Action Andrade versus Miro. This match, once again, incredible. Action Andrade shows how speed can overcome power, but Miro really responded back with, no, I'm just going to stop you in your tracks, with some amazing punches, lariats, power kicks. Just in general, this was awesome to see. We see consistent from Action Andrade shocking us all, breaking out a game over, just literally using his speed and momentum to really show how high flying can work against powerhouses. But in the end, Miro did get the game over and get that win. And you could see CJ Perry was happy with some of the attacks that Miro was landing. But then when Miro got the win, you see CJ Perry look slightly upset. So we don't know where the level of the balance is right now. Is she actually trying to scout Miro, or was she trying to fully be a manager to Action Andrade, and now she's worried of where that's going to go because how much damage Miro did? We get a couple of backstage segments. We get Jericho Appreciation Society without Chris Jericho talking about how they're all on the same page, and that they all had a family breakfast together and talked about not dancing in the ring anymore, things like that. We need to be more stubborn and serious. Daniel Garcia looked frustrated. Anna Jay stepped in saying, no, we're not doing this on camera, and walked off. So, yeah, they're falling apart. You got Cool Hands talk to Ruby Soho, and they were both agreeing, oh, yeah, our groups are falling apart because Ruby's having the same situation with Outcasts. Which was interesting. We then get Ruby being like, right, cool, stay out my spot. You're in my spot. And speaks on camera, states how she deserves the title opportunity and she's going to take it for granted. She's going to take every opportunity now because she's getting sick and tired of how she's been taken for granted and not having these opportunities, which I thought was really good. We get FTR back in the ring. This was interesting. These wrestlers they were going against was kind of jobbers once again. There weren't anything interesting. But the match didn't even really kick off. As soon as FTR got their momentum going, looked like they were about to hit their finisher. Lights go out. Lo and behold, Malachi Black is there, and then the rest of the House of Black appear a few minutes after. They jump FTR, completely derailing the match, and just leave them dead weight in the ring. We then get the main event with Claudio and Wheeler Yuta versus Big Bill and Ricky Starks. This match was incredible. There were so many spots where Ricky Starks just really sold me on how he is now playing an excellent heel. He was doing parts where he would jump out the ring and run around to get a warm up, like kind of insulting Claudio and everything. There was a part he grabs the mic and he like cheers Bill on. Big Bill really getting to show off his powerhouse moves and how he kicks, how he's being a lot stronger in the ring alongside Ricky, and how they are very much becoming a tag team now and very much becoming a powerhouse group, which I love to see. We've got some awesome stuff between Yuta and Claudio as well. Yuta really stood his ground of, no, I will still stand and fight Big Bill. I don't need to tag in Claudio yet. I need to wait my time. I need to power it out and then Claudio come in. And when Claudio did come in, man, did he unleash. He hit amazing lariats. He was hitting his European uppercuts. He was literally going in every best way possible to try and get this win. And right towards the end, we had an incredible spot. Claudio doing his big spin and Yuta doing a drop kick, but that didn't happen. We then have House of Black once again appear for a third time, distracting Blackpool Combat Club now, which gave the chance for Ricky to hit a spear and a Roshambo on Wheeler Yuta. And then a whole fight breaks out. We have Blackpool Combat Club being jumped by Ricky Starks, Big Bill, and House of Black. FTR run out to try and help even the numbers, but they're still being out defeated by numbers game. And we get the iconic music of Wild Thing hit. We have Jon Moxley return, in-ring cleared, comes in, beats the heck out of them, hits a DDT, and then we quickly get all of them run out the ring, all of the baby faces standing strong in Blackpool Combat Club, in FTR, and just as you think House of Black are going to rejoin Ricky Starks and Billy to go fight again, Ricky Starks get baited, he runs in, and it's like a lamb to the slaughter. Not only did he get shatter machined by FTR, he then very quickly got the Death Rider DDT by Moxley, and Big Bill's really struggling to just try and pull Ricky Starks out there to save him, and they won't let Big Bill get in that ring. If he did, he would probably get dropped too. All in all, incredible AEW week. A lot of fun wrestling, a lot of fast pace, and a lot of intense storylines. We already have some things announced for next week, and we also had Battle of the Belts happen after Collision, but what I'm going to do is next week I will do a full recap of all of the Battle of the Belts and anything interesting that happens on Dynamite that isn't just part of Battle of the Belts. But that's been your AEW Dynamite, Rampage and Collision of this week. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your favourite part, and I will see you guys on the next video.